I have decided to make a new wreath for my front door because I am decorating my front yard with skeletons and I need a wreath to match. So let me show you what I'm using today. I am using a 16-inch wreath form, and I want to use this skull tray that I picked up. Isn't this awesome? I love it. It's fantastic. I want to use some black mesh as my base, and this is a 10 by 10 inch black mesh wreath. I also decided I want to use this spider web sparkle mesh, and it's black with gold webbing. And let me show you. This is what it looks like. Isn't it fantastic? I like it. I think it'll look really good on my wreath. I also pulled some ribbon out of my supply box. It's been there a while, as you can tell, but I think it'll work really well for my project. It's a green sheer ribbon with dancing skeleton. Look at that. He's flinging the web around with the spider at the tip. Look at that. And then there. Isn't that funny? I do have 2 rolls of my ribbons, just in case. And then I also found this one. Look. It's a skull ribbon. I have glittered green skulls on the black satin ribbon. And I do have 2 of that also. And I also decided to use this one. This is a black mesh ribbon. Look at this. It has sparkles on there. I think it will look really good on my wreath. I'm hopeful anyways. These are kind of like spooky looking Chanel stems. Iridescent green with black. I think it'll look really good. You know, when it sticks out of my wreath, it'll kind of like make everything all spooky. The first thing I want to do is add in my Chanel stems, you know, set up my wreath form. And I'm using the full length. So what I want to do is start with row 1, which is the outside, and then 2, 3, and 4 to the inner ring. So on row 1, I want to put a Chanel stem on the crossbars, you see there? And get that on there, see it like that. And then on this side also. Okay, and then on row 2 and row 3, I want to put only 1. On row 2, I want my Chanel stem slightly to the left of the center of the section, that is. So like about right there. And then on row 3, it's going to fall to the right of the center. So you see how it looks right here? So that's what I want. And then on row 4, I want to put my Chanel stems on the crossbars. This will help the mesh to evenly cover the wreath form. Now, depending on the width of your wreath, you may need to make a slight adjustment, but if you're using the 10 by 10 like I am, this is what you want to do. There we go. Look at that. I think this will work really well. And I will go ahead and set up the rest of my wreath form just like this. I'm going to go ahead and start right here. And I'm going to do poofs. And they will be 9-inch poofs. So I'm just going to scrunch right here and then add this in. I'm going to leave a little tail and tuck that tail under. I will secure that tail down once I have all my mesh worked in. Go ahead and measure this for 9 inches and go to the next section here like that. Now you can always work with 2 rolls of your Deco mesh and make larger poofs. Like if you want to do 10 inches on your poofs, you will need 2 rolls of the mesh. Let's say you want to put 3 Chanel stems on row 1 and row 4. You will also need 2 rolls of the Deco mesh. How do I know? Go ahead, ask. As I'm making my wreath, I experiment. I learn as I go. So, yeah, it's fun making mesh wreaths and coming up with new patterns on these wreath forms. It's always a challenge, right? Let's see, you want to do like a pattern with your mesh. Yeah, you never know exactly how much you're going to need until you actually do one, in that pattern. So once you get the hang of everything, then you know exactly how much mesh you need for which type of wreath you're making, right? Look at this. Okay, I am now back to where I started. And I will just tuck this in here. You can just stack these if you like, but I like to undo my Chanel stem just like that and then add the mesh and retighten it. I don't know. That's just me. I just like the way it looks when I do it like this. And then I am ready for row 2, which is right here. So I'm just going to go across like this to row 2. And then on to row 3. When you finish row 2, that is, go on to row 3 the same way. Just match everything up and then go on to the next section. And then on to row 4. I am just about done adding my mesh. I have just this one section left. Tuck that right in here. And then I have just a little bit of mesh left, maybe one more poof, maybe two. And I will just tuck this in. Let's see. Let me find the ending here. And I'm going to fold this in half so I kind of like have an idea. And I'm just going to tuck this in here, kind of hide it, you know, make it disappear into the wreath. And then just make sure the ending right here, match that up. Don't worry about the length right in here. As long as the ending right there is matched up, you're good. And then leave a tail, just a little bit. 1 inch, 2 inches, it's all preference, right? And then that ending, go ahead and tuck that through your wreath form to the bottom. And I will secure those later. So here we go, look, pretty good. At this point you can kind of like check your poofs. If anything that looks absolutely wonky, go ahead and fix it. But most of the time I leave it as it is. I'm like, it works out really well for me, so I'm happy. Like right here, see, occasionally it will happen. See how it lays flat? So just open that up and there you have it. Like that, just open it up. If you want the full effect of your wreath, this is the way to go. You definitely don't want any folds showing on your wreath, so see, like that, see how that's folded? Get rid of that fold. They do sell different type of mesh textures, so if you find one you like, stick with that. I like my mesh wreath to be a bit on the firm side. Occasionally I will use soft mesh, but I tend to make the length between my poofs shorter if I have to do that. I like the shiny look on this mesh. It looks pretty good. It works well. And then here's my Chanel stem. Look at that. Isn't that creepy looking? I don't know what it is, but I've been saving it for Halloween. So here we go. That is pretty good. I like it. Then my next step in my Halloween wreath is to add in my plate. I want to secure this in before I start adding all the goodies on here. And I want to just center it, just like this. And because my mesh is on the firm side, see how it just like lands right on top of the wreath there. So I'm gonna turn this over and let me get this out of the way for a minute. I will add Chanel stems, and if you like, you can keep the label on there or take it off. And I will see, hot glue one on the bottom here and one at the top. I am ready to add in my tray. So I'm going to drop it here, and then I'm going to catch it on that first bar. Let's see. If it comes out looking wonky, the better. We don't want perfect here. So catch it here. And then at the top here. And I don't want to like pull on my Chanel stem, because that will smush my poofs down, and my tray is going to like disappear into the mesh. I don't want that. So let me flip this over. And look, I like it really, really good. Here are my ribbons. I cut all the ribbons down to 9 inches. And I have I have 16 pieces in each of the designs. And then on my sparkle mesh, you know, the gold webbing, I used 2 full rolls of the mesh, and then on each roll you get 3 yards. So I have 6 yards, and they're all cut to 9 inches. I want to tuck some of this into my ribbon bundles, and then whatever's left over I'm going to distribute throughout my wreath. I have finished adding in all my ribbons. So in total, I end up using 25 bundles of ribbon. I think that it is spooky just as it is, right? I want to go hang this up so we can take a look at our new skull Deco mesh wreath. Here is my new skull Deco mesh wreath. I like the way it turned out. I'm quite happy with it. I am glad that I went with that dark base and then added in the green ribbons. Look at that. I like that. It is quite a spooky looking wreath, right? And then the skull itself, it's gold, but it has like green and purples in there. It works really well. I am quite happy with it, and I'm glad that my wreath matches the rest of my yard now. I hope you like my new Halloween wreath and that you give it a try. If you can, pick up one of these trays and create a base to your color and have some spooky fun decorating your wreath for the Halloween season. Thank you for stopping by, and I will see you next time. Have a happy Halloween.